I'm live. This is so weird to me. I haven't done this in so long. I think what didn't help, if you look into the chat right now, you may see that I had to delay the stream by about 5 minutes. Because I remember my microphone is not connected to the computer anymore. So I had to connect this shit up, and then I completely forgot whether I had it upside down or right side up. So, you know. Anyways, welcome home, welcome back. This is the Mycromator stream you're watching. Extraordinaire. I know it's Celeste Permadeath, but come on, it's my first stream back. We gotta catch up a little, you know. Hello there, welcome Random Orson. Welcome home, Gaming with Kicks. Alright. I think there really is no reason to stay in this just chatting mode, considering that what is Celeste Permadeath other than just chatting around? I got the very important thing. So I went to the store right now, and I didn't know they had this going on. I had no idea about this. I wanted to pick up a Coca-Cola, you know, as I like to drink it back in the day before I started drinking alcohol on stream for some reason. I got the Bro Cola. Wait, it's mirrored for you. Oh, it's Francis with under another name. All right. Wait, I gotta show this to you. All right. It just says Bro. It's the Bro Cola. What? I got Bro Cola. Why is my cola called Bro? Alright, anyways, it's fine. Oh, you prefer to be called Ursa. Alright, perfect. I gotta think about bears, because I think Ursa means bear in Latin, or some of one of those languages. One of those fake important ones. The Bro Cola before GTA 6. Obviously, of course. Alright, let's get into the game, I'd say. Perhaps, if I'm able to. I haven't done this in a while. Can you tell? I had a wild few weeks, I'm gonna be honest. I really did. If you looked into the Discord, you could see that I was in a suit in front of the German Parliament building. I may or may not have been politics maxing. Yeah. But yeah. Wait. All right. Even though we do have Only mic is actually working, isn't it? Oh, that's very convenient. I want this to capture Celeste. Let's see if we can get it working instantly. That'd be sick. That'd be awesome. That would be magnifique, extraordinaire, no? I was actually in France just last week because I did visit the European Parliament once again. It actually works instantly. I'm insane. Magnificent. Magnifique. Extraordinaire. Where was I all this time? Dude, the better question is, where wasn't I? I think my last stream was like in February. It was like a bit after Valentine's Day. I did get milk. You know, I did go out to get milk. I will say that. I'm sorry. You know, perhaps the Binding of Isaac Ascension, where the mom and the dad are arguing, hits a bit close to home because I'm your dad and I left. But no, so I was, dude, I was in like Marburg, a city in Germany. You might know it from the deadly virus that was named after it. I was in Budapest in Hungary. Then I went out partying a lot for some reason. Then I was invited to the German, like, to get a tour of the different ministries of the German government. Then I went to Sweden. Then I went to Strasbourg, which was last week. I went to the European Parliament because I was invited to the European Youth event. And then, like, the last week, there was like a huge beer festival in my city. And that's kind of it. I've been so busy. It's because it didn't make sense to get back into streaming when I knew that I have a big trip coming up next week. You know, I'm gonna be like, "Hey guys, I'm back," and then I just leave again. This would be like your dad bringing home like a carton of milk dropping it off in the fridge and then just leaving again, you know? Like it's been 2 years. He just comes back, puts it in the fridge. Goodbye. I didn't want to do that to you. I almost just said didn't want to do that to her. You know, Hawk 2 is still a very relevant meme as far as I'm concerned. It's kind of crazy. It's June. Anyways, if anything's messed up with the audio, just let me know. Because, again, been a while. But it looks fine. I think it's fine. Let's have a look. Yeah, the balancing looks good. I could make the audio a bit louder. Yep. Perfetto. Oh, I need to click this. Alright. So, but the better question, really, I mean, who cares where this guy's been? Where have you people been? Yeah. Also, don't mind me, I have to pick up laundry in like an hour, so, you know, I'm gonna have to leave the room in like 40 minutes. For about 2 minutes, and then I'm back. I'll also turn on a light, probably. It's getting a bit dark out, all things considered. It is 9 PM after all. Also, that first run didn't count, because the first run doesn't count. You know, if you recall correctly, if you recall the rules, the first run does not count for any first run privileges, so... Let's see if I can get this first try. I think here's the thing. I feel kind of bad just doing this as a crutch. Celeste Permadeath. But at the end of the day, I think if I want to beat it eventually, which I really do, I really do want to beat this eventually. The main thing I need to do is just practice a lot, isn't it? You know? So, I can't wait for the big hype moment when I actually do it. And I bet you can too, so stay tuned into the stream. Alright. I mean, I'm sure nothing happened world events-wise while I was gone, so there really is nothing to comment on. I mean, really, you know, as a guy who was into economics and politics, you know, it's been a very boring time recently. I think you'll all agree with me. Not much to discuss. Regardless, you know what'd be kind of funny? I was thinking about it, because while I was away, it's kind of a thing I try whenever I'm away, is I try to grow facial hair. And I was just thinking about just showing up here with like a full beard. Like I haven't streamed in 5 months, or I guess I haven't regularly streamed since like 1.5 years ago. And I just have a full beard. I'm not the twink you used to love watching. I've just become wildly unattractive. Imagining myself showing up here having gained like 30 kilograms. But don't you worry, your twink is still intact. Recently I've been doing this thing because in the garden I decided to plant some salad. But because I wanted to hedge my bets, I planted 6 salads. 6 heads of lettuce. And expecting like half of them to die. All 6 matured and are now massive. So I just have an oversupply of lettuce in my garden. So now kind of whenever I'm hungry, I just go outside and like a bunny. I feel like a rabbit, I just gnaw on lettuce all day. And also I dig a big hole and I hide in it, but I don't think that's very relevant. I completely forgot about these 3 baddies chasing you here. Sorry, that one was awful. You've been trying to learn. Wait, I'm gonna read your message right after this room. It's just this one part is kind of hard. Like, minimally. You've been trying to learn astronomy theory for your solar systems you're making? Like a tarot with rings. That's interesting. I feel like I've always been like a little bit interested in astronomy. I mean, in school I did have astrophysics, which was kind of crazy, all things considered. I remember this was so insane. We were doing this thing where it was like a computer simulation of launching a satellite into geostationary orbit, and you have to use your booster at like the perfect time. What the software had was like they brought out computers, which was kind of crazy, like laptops we could use this model software on, and what you were supposed to do was like slow down time and match the moment perfectly to press the button. Me and my group, we did not really think about exploring all the options, so we didn't know you could slow down time. So what we did is we just tried pressing it perfectly, and we actually hit it. I think the timing window was like 100 milliseconds or something like that. It was inhuman. Like, it was really just like pure instincts from there on. It was insane. So if I can do that, I can beat Celeste Permadeath. Chapter 3 lock in. I think if I have to lock in for Chapter 3, I'm never beating the game. I've done this chapter before. You know, I've played these games before. Actually, this is my first playthrough of Celeste. How do you think I'm doing? Dude, the story is so interesting. You know, I think it's weird that they only give you one text box and then you have to press skip cutscene, but, you know, it's quite alright. Realistically, I mean, I don't quite know what this game's about, but it seems very intriguing. Like, there we go. Like, I couldn't even read the text box. Like, it instant just skips this cutscene. Well, this room's a bit tricky, but, you know, you can do it. You know, I can't quite say that I haven't streamed since last year because I didn't have those 3 in February. February. Why is that such a hard word to say? February. February. I can say it in a British accent, but how the fuck would an American say February? It seems just unreasonably difficult. As a fellow German, you struggle with it as well. It's the only hard word. Yeah, I really do believe it's the only hard word, you know? I don't know why people struggle with squirrel. Squirrel is really easy to say. Now, February, on the other hand, that one's unreasonable. February, like the bro cola I got with me. I still can't believe I just randomly grabbed a bottle that says a bro on it. What a strange thing to happen to someone. Now we're in a huge mess. This mess is so huge. How are we ever gonna clean this up? I don't know why pretending like it's my first playthrough and I'm a cringe commentator is funny to me. Frankly, a lot has changed since the last time I streamed. In the sense that I actually killed 2 people. Yeah, so you know, seeing the life fade out of 2 people at your own hand kind of changes you. So if I'm a little bit different compared to before the big break, that's why. He says with a smile on his face, reminiscing clearly about the 2 victims of his violence. He does not regret a thing. Don't scream, you know, I don't want the police to hear. Like, come on. Like, keep quiet. You're now accomplices. There's no witness protection for you. You're next. Nah, but I didn't kill 2 people. I hugged 2 people. Actually, I didn't do that either. I really am just completely touchless. At least I do have friends. But yeah, your favorite streamer gets no bitches. It's a tough truth to handle. Maybe it's because it's so dark. I think I'm actually gonna stand up and turn on a light after this. After boxes. Not after this attempt, because turning it on after this attempt would be quite stupid considering the fact that I'm gonna beat it this time. So, like, wouldn't really make sense to turn on the light when I'm ending stream. Alright. Dude, wouldn't it be fucking insane if I actually did do it this attempt? That would be crazy, right? Just like it would be crazy if I killed 2 people. You know. Theoretically speaking. Alright, I'm gonna go get a light. Oh, that's awesome, my audio just broke. Give me a second. I fixed it. Alright. You know, it's kind of funny to say light. It's kind of funny to say I turned on a light because I turned on, I lit a flame to burn those 2 bodies, but is this bit funny? It really isn't, because it is 2 people who lost their lives at my own hands, you know. I did grab a knife and do that, but the incident. I wonder if I would be criminally liable for this. Those 2 people I killed sure weren't criminally liable. I gotta stop. I gotta stop. Alright. Lock in. This room's kinda hard. If you're stupid. If you're a super genius like me, this room's actually really easy. I don't know why people struggle with this room, considering the fact that it's actually really easy if you're good at the game. Says the guy who... I think the last run I lost probably was to that room. Like last time. That's when I quit streaming, you know? That's how tough that loss was. Just a few dashes. Now let's fight Oshiro. Oshiro. I kind of feel like mispronouncing things today. Now, his name is Oshiro, suddenly. And the main character's name? Yeah, that's Badeline. It's Madalini. Madalini. I actually really like Madalini. It sounds like a sort of pasta. Which reminds me, you know, there's this lake in Italy, it's called Lake Garda. If you're German, you definitely know about it, because I feel like everyone who's there just either German or serving German tourists. But I'll say it like this. God fucking damn it, man. Because I hesitated at the beginning, the cycle was off. Oh, that's fair. Anyways, I'll say it like that. The lake is shaped, sort of, unfortunately, it's shaped sort of phallic. And they decided to make noodles in the shape of the lake. So, if you go to a supermarket around that area, you'll find cock-shaped noodles, which, you know, I don't know what kind of sick fuck would purchase a bag of dicks to eat with red sauce. Not my kind of thing, I'm gonna be honest. Right, I gotta fix this. Okay. A penis. Yes, that is what they looked like. Yeah, a penis. Penis. Yeah, there's a reason they call one of the most common types of pasta penne. It's a tame version of the penis. pancetta, more like pinchetta. This is getting real dumb. But isn't that how you like me? You don't like the intellectual Mycromator, do you? You like it when I act like I've got a mental disability. I know you do. That's the guy you like. I actually really don't know what people like about my content sometimes. Maybe it's my wonderfully beautiful appearance, my incredibly soothing voice, or my impeccable sense of humor. But I really just sometimes I don't see the vision. No, I do. It's just kind of funny because I think my content used to be significantly different. I used to be, frankly, a lot more self-deprecating, a lot more edgy in that sense. Not edgy in the sense that I was racist. I was never racist. You don't need to worry about that, but, you know, I did teeter on the fringes of society a little bit. Actually, I think most of the VODs from that time are gone now. Because Twitch decided to add a feature where they delete all the VODs you've got backed up if they're over 100 gigs. Which I did so many streams on Twitch back in the day. And I backed them all up on the Twitch video uploader. So it just got rid of like a bunch of old memories for me. Which I think that was pretty cool of them to do. Yeah. I actually don't know what's left of it. I actually don't know. I'm kind of afraid to check. I mean, I still do have a lot of things to look back on. I did start off as a YouTuber, not a streamer. Maybe I should go back to that. Back in my day. Back in my day, absolutely. There's no one here to remember those days. Except for me. But alas, that's how it is. I actually do want to do some more fun things after this. I think my next project that I think my next stream that I do might be me playing the Game Boy Kirby games. Like the old Kirby games. You know, because I've never played them. I've never played the really old ones. So I gotta see where the series started. I gotta see where the series farted. Actually, it is a lie. I did recently play the Game Boy Kirby game. Like once. So I am lying to you. I'm lying straight to your face. Unlike that time where I said that I killed 2 people. Now that one... You know, you got me. What can you do? Dude, chapter 2 is so easy. I feel like I could do this while barely looking at the screen. I think this last stream is like the only part where I actually tend to actually kind of lock in. Minimally. But I think it's also just that I've went through this so many times. You know, I've played these games before. If you know the routes, it's just... It's not that difficult anymore when you know the routes. Alright. Okay, that was pretty unsatisfying. The other thing I started doing to myself for no reason, I don't know why, is playing way too much of the Binding of Isaac. I've actually started making meaningful progress towards a Dead God save on my laptop. Which is a bit concerning. You know, because it makes it feel feasible. And you don't want that. You don't want it to feel feasible. And I don't want my brain to start thinking, dude, I wish I was streaming from a fresh Isaac save trying to 100% it. You don't want your brain to do that. But maybe it should. There's also another game I really wanted to play. It's called Crumble. It's very old. I think I tried playing it on stream once, but... It's a very obscure indie game. It's probably the most underrated game I know of. It's very good. Though I might do that on YouTube. Now I'm very sorry that the stream is an update video. of sorts. Let's go back to talking about Celeste, you know. It's funny how this game puts the times in perspective. That was a weird reference. No, I mean, for me, this game really does put time in perspective. When did this come out? This came in like 2017, didn't it? This game's old. Isn't this game like 8 years old at this point, or did it come out in 2019? I don't recall. But I will say definitely probably the best 15 bucks I've ever spent. I did buy this game full price at 15, and then later on sale for 5, which was good. That was a good investment. Just imagining someone paying 5 bucks for this is crazy. Probably the second best investment in my brain next to Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley was also just so worth the money. I just love Stardew Valley so much. It's so good. I don't know why I just turned zesty there. You know, I guess my brain was like, that's what the fans want. You know, the fans want you to queerbait. I'm sorry to disappoint you. Despite the long break, I'm still not gay. You know. It's tough, I know. Maybe try again next time. Oh, wow. I was also recently thinking, this is talking about streaming again, which kind of got to get away from that. But I was just thinking about this, the fact that back when I used to stream on Twitch, I think Twitch, for all it's worth, contains one of the most depressing places on earth. Like, truly just, like, to me, gut-wrenchingly depressing places. And I'm glad I got off that site, despite my stream still being small, because, if you go into a game, and you sort the streams from lowest views to highest, you'll see, like, 30 people just talking to themselves, hoping that someone might join to listen. But because there's no Twitch algorithm, the chances are nigh zero. I don't know how I put up with that back in the day. It really just, it hurts my heart every time I go to like the Splatoon category and I sort by lowest view to highest, because there's just so many who are on the brink, really. But I am the guy who's talking to two people right now, so it's not like I'm doing much better. I did have a few videos pop off. The new soup videos actually did do quite well. I will say, for the second one, the 40-minute runtime definitely was not worth it. I think I should probably stick to 20. But at this point, it's too late to finish the series. The streams are like 3 years old at this point. I gotta just let go. They're not 3 years old, but they're 2 years old. I did that back in 2023. Yikes. Oh, man. The world really has shifted. Think about how much has happened since then. To you. And to me. Because you know all the ins and outs of what's happening in my life. I mean, you know where I went. You know that I killed 2 people. That's kind of all you need to know about me at this point. You know, those are kind of my 2 defining characteristics, I'd say. I gotta stop saying that I killed 2 people. I gotta stop admitting to it. Plausible deniability is much easier to handle in front of court. Let's talk about current events. Now, I actually... sometimes I think about these posts I see, you know? There was a post I saw that just... I see it from time to time, and it really just pisses me off. And it says, How old were you when you found out that the percentage rain chance isn't the percent chance that it rains, but the percent of area that's covered by rain? That's not true. Like, how old were you when you realized that? Just blatant lie. I think it's so funny, but at the same time it pisses me off. It's in the same genre of like misinformation to when people say, how old were you realize that news stands for, I think it was like, wait, it was, news was like, new events, notable events, weather and sports. And like, no, it doesn't stand for that. News is called news because it talks about the new things that have happened. A 787 crash in India? It's kind of crazy. There was like one guy who survived. I think the survivor guilt would get me. I don't think I could keep living. I think I'd just kill myself. But no, he really said he was built diff. Like, over 150 people died. And just, you're like the one guy who lived. Yeah, the fact that 150 people died really puts into perspective that, 2 people really isn't that much. Who's messaging me? I'm sorry for the Discord ping. That was not you. That one's on me. This is an... let's mute this for an hour. I don't think I'll stream for much longer than that. Hi, what's up, gaming parrot? Wait. Parades. It's not paradise, it's parades, huh? How you doing? Welcome home. We're trying to beat Celeste without dying today. I say today as if this is like the first time I'm doing this. This is actually the first time I'm trying this, so, let's see how far we can get, Celeste, but if I die, I have to buy a new copy. No. That would be very expensive. You think my stream is home? You don't think my stream is home? It really is. You are at home now. You're home now. You finally made it. We're glad you're here. We're glad you made it home safe. I don't know when I started saying welcome home. I think it was just a thing I started saying, and then the chat started repeating it, and now it's a staple. That whenever it comes into the stream, I just welcome them home, because this is home. We're all a family here. Right? Alright. Oh wow. Okay, that spike jump was a bit ludicrous. Now, it's a bit crazy thing to do on your first permadeath attempt, isn't it? Alright. Currently trying to get 6B aka Deathless. Oh, golden. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, 6B is a tough one. Have I got... yeah, I've gotten all of them except for 7B. And Farewell. It's kind of crazy now to think about it. I have all the golden berries except for 7B. I could stream me grinding that out, but I kind of just don't want to do it. It's a bit scary, isn't it? It's a bit scary, isn't it? Huh. Because it's scary to do 7B. Instead, I do the whole game. that one's much easier, Mycromator. Good thinking on your part there. Great thinking. Are you fucking kidding me? Madeline saw herself, and the dysphoria was so much she just had to kill herself or something like that. Why did I just suddenly get really dizzy? Is that good? Is that a good sign? Holy shit. It's kind of wild. I'm good. Surely. No, recently I've been grinding too much. I have the perfect routine because my university is like 40 minutes away by bicycle. And the bus, if I took the bus, I'd take about 45 or 50 minutes to get to uni. So, actually, I think I also take like 40 minutes, but I have to leave earlier. So I've just been going by bicycle, back and forth, out of laziness, because I want to chill at home for like 5 more minutes. Isn't that strange how that works, you know? I'm too lazy to take the bus, so instead I do 40 minutes of cardio. That thing where you retried happened in the last few rooms when getting 8A golden. That's tough. That's tough, man. Oh no. Yeah. I do think that 6B probably was the toughest next to 7B. I think 8B was easier than 6B, strangely enough. Though at this point it's also been a while since I did those. I'm getting old. I'm actually not getting that old. I'm actually way too old. I'm getting ancient, not old. Regardless. "8A golden was your worst Celeste experience, or 8B? 8A golden was your worst Celeste experience. Really? That's crazy. But I guess, you know, some people struggle with different things. I think it's really funny how my first playthrough went, because I think people think I'm a psychopath whenever I talk about this. But because, you know, I bought this game, and I wanted to get the most out of it. So what I said is I do 1 level a day. So, you know, I spread out the game over like 8 days. But what I did is I carved out an exception for myself. When I collected the first B-side, and I understood that, oh, it's kind of like the level I just played. What I did is right after playing the A-side, I played the B-side. So my order of levels was 1A, 2A, that's when I realized B-sides were a thing, 1B, 2B, 3A, 3B, 4A, 4B, 5A, 5B, 6A, 6B, 7A, 7B, 8A, 8B. So I got kind of cracked. I got more cracked at the game at a different pace than I should have. It's a funny experience. The gameplay of 8A was really unfun. Yeah, but the vibes were pretty good. It's not the most vibey level. I think the most vibey level for sure is Mirror Temple. Mirror Temple goes hard as fuck. Not necessarily gameplay wise, but like the music. Quiet and Falling kind of do be a masterpiece. You did that kind of level order? You did that too? That's insane. I can't believe I'm not the only guy whose brain is fucked up in a way that made me do that. Because it was just clearly a difficulty spike whenever I played the B-sides. The B-sides are not easy, per se. But the game lets you do it, so it's fine. It's kind of funny how you can beat the B-side instead of the A-side if you want to. So like in Chapter 2, what you can do is you can go and collect the B-side cassette, quit out of the game, beat the B-side, and then move on to Chapter 3. Is that strange that you can do that? I can't be the only guy who thinks it's a weird design decision. I mean, I remember at some point it was theorized that it may be faster to get the B-side cassette tape in Chapter 2 and then finish the B-side instead of playing the rest of 2A. But the main problem is that 2A is just so easy and fast that it just was never worth it. Yep, so you wouldn't do that in BNY%. What's BNY%? I actually don't know what that is. I'm not that much into the Celeste Online forum. I don't really watch Celeste content ever or interact with the community much. I don't know why, I just never really got into that kind of aspect. BNY is doing all B sets. Oh, I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, I guess in BNY you would do that, yeah. What an insane thing to die to. And now you gotta... let's do the unskippable cutscene again. Let's do the 5-minute unskippable cutscene where you do chapter 1 and chapter 2. I can't believe I died to that. I just got a bit distracted. Man, my throat is so dry. I gotta have some bro. I talked about this at the beginning of stream, but I went to the store to pick up a bottle of Coke. And I just randomly picked one and it says bro on it instead of Coca-Cola. It is a Coca-Cola bottle because, you know, like the brand's still there, but it just says bro. It's mirrored, so you can't quite read it, but it just says bro. Why did I have bro Coke? The universe is calling me broke. You started playing in March 2025? That's insane. I think I first played this game like 2018 or 2019 or something. I don't entirely remember when Celeste released. It's so long ago at this point, really. No, but it was a very fitting release time, you know. I kind of was rock bottom depressed when this game came out, so I was the perfect demographic. Yeah, it is long ago. Sometime in 2017. That is so crazy. Some of my viewers haven't even been born yet or something. I actually don't think any 8-year-old watches me just because I haven't played The Binding of Isaac in a while. Insert laugh track. I feel like this is a joke only people who stream Isaac get. Because whenever I say this to someone who has live streamed Isaac, they instantly erupt into laughter because, I don't know why, but when you stream Isaac, there's so many children. Just like actual children. Pre-teens. It's wild. No, but 2017 is 8 years ago. Don't know how I feel about that. People born in 2010 or 15. That's not quite right. That doesn't seem quite right. Just saying you're a preteen? Oh, I see. If we were on Twitch, I would actually be TOS obligated to ban you for saying that, even if it wasn't true. Same thing goes for Discord, actually. Like TOS, like Twitch and Discord are 13 plus apps. So if someone would joke about being like 11 or 12, you would be like forced to ban them by TOS. Kind of interesting. You can't be a minor anywhere. You're saying this as if it's a bad thing. On Twitch, I kind of get it. If you know, on Twitch, it's like, yeah, minors should be allowed to watch a live stream. But I think it's a good idea that 10-year-olds can't go on Discord. I think that's a good idea. You can't even joke about being 12. You actually can't. Like, unless you explicitly state that this is a joke in the same message, you actually can't. Of course, no one really follows that rule. But it is interesting. It is something to keep in mind. Yeah. But I mean, I feel like despite YouTube being, that's insane. Like when I was very small, YouTube was still very new. But, you know, I feel like children do watch YouTube. I think it's undeniable. Germany is looking into a law that prohibits like people under 16 from using social media. And I just find it low-key kind of insane because it's never going to work. Like our current society and entertainment industry is kind of built on the internet. You know, before the internet, there was like lots of children's media like cartoons and shit like that. But I feel like if you're 14, what is there for you to do with like on not social media? Like, you watch children's cartoons? I guess all day, or do they expect you to play outside every day all day? Oh yeah, you should. Oh yeah, you should play board games actually. At 13, 14, it's kind of fine, but should be restricted. I think it for the most part. It should just be, oh yeah, we recommend doing this at like 13, 14, to get your children a phone or something, like their own phone. And before that, the parents should just monitor their child. The one thing I do agree on is phones in school should be banned. They're just not a good idea. Yeah, back when I was in school, all phones had to be turned off and in the bag, like stored inside your backpack. And if they saw you had a phone in your pocket, they would get really mad at you. And if you wanted to use your phone, you had to leave the school premises. They took it so seriously. But I think it was a good idea all in all because, you know. Your brother is really annoying. I hate to break it to you. I don't think your brother is uniquely annoying. I think children are just generally annoying sometimes. Take it from someone who used to stream Isaac. It's such a goated game, but I think it has similar reasons to why FNAF and like Bendy and the Ink Machine and Poppy Playtime or something are just exclusively enjoyed by kids, or like the Backrooms. But Backrooms also was like infiltrated by minors. I mean, minors is a bit far-fetched because I don't have a problem with a fucking 16-year-old and doing anything. We used to have big parties and get really drunk at 16. It is legal in Germany, but I think it's just like if you're a 10-year-old, the edgy stuff is you like that because it's different from what you know. You feel uniquely naughty, kind of. I think people feel like they're kind of breaking the rules. But it's interesting in that sense. Time to just moan and groan. I do understand that I did just say time to just moan. Don't mean it like that. They banned them at your school back then because apparently people kept walking around in front of other kids getting their phones broken. That's... What kind of school did you go to? Sounds like Mittelschule activity. Back in my day, we still called it Hauptschule. This joke exclusively is interesting to Germans. What the percentage of people who have done 8BG? That's a good question. Unfortunately, there's no real way to find out simply because there's no achievement for it. It's kind of fun in Isaac because in Isaac there's an achievement for everything. So you know exactly what percentage of players has done something. Though it's kind of skewed because in Isaac you can still get achievements even if you use mods. Which is kind of annoying. Kind of skews all the percentages. I generally find Isaac modding to be just fairly annoying, you know. Hate to break it to people, but when I see a YouTube video and I see you like add in a modded item or Isaac does the annoying fucking dance that is not funny and has actually never been funny. It doesn't do it for me, The only mod I actually use, and I used on stream, was during the Ascent part of the game. It's like a certain part of the game if you haven't played it. you can hear like Isaac's parents arguing in the background. And it's kind of serious. So I did install a mod that adds a laugh track to the whole thing. It kind of brightens the mood, you know, especially if you're streaming. It's fairly useful to have those laugh tracks there. Ah. But no, I mean, phones in school is just generally a bad idea. I mean, the main thing is, as far as I've heard, is just the parents are against it. Parents want to always be able to reach their child. And, you know, I mean, I guess society has kind of shifted, but it used to be that your parents were like, oh yeah, here's a wristwatch. We'll pick you up at this time at this place. Good luck. Which is kind of crazy now, thinking back on it, but you know. It worked out. Was achievements Celeste, in your opinion, are skewed because of assist mode? I actually don't think that many people who use assist mode use it to cheese achievements. I don't think it happened that much. I think the only thing where that's really a factor is the Moonberry. I think people definitely used assist mode for the Moonberry. Even though it's not that hard, in my opinion. And maybe some parts of Farewell. I beat Farewell the old-fashioned way before it was nerfed. Before it was buffed. The level used to be harder. They actually patched it. Not that I'm saying that it's bad, but they patched all the wrong rooms. They patched the rooms that was fine with, but they didn't change the rooms that everyone hates. Which was an interesting choice by Extremely OK Games. I almost just said the wrong name. Come on! And this, my friends, is why you don't play on controller. I just love playing on controller. I actually gotta get to chapter 4 today. I've been kind of wasting away. I used to get a chapter 4 like every run before my big break. It's interesting. This game's changed, actually, quite a lot. I think the core was added in an update. Like, Chapter 8 wasn't in the base game. If I recall correctly. And I don't want to dead name Maddie Thorson, but the old name of the company included Maddie Thorson's dead name, which was kind of unfortunate if you think about it. Like, you see an old Celeste video, and like whenever you start up the game, there's just like a big logo that dead names Maddie Thorson. It's quite unfortunate. Then they renamed the company. I think the company was called Maddie Makes Games for a little bit. I'm not sure. But then they changed it to Extremely OK Games, which is what it is now. Alright, let's do this. This attempt I'm actually gonna get to chapter 4 instead of dying in chapter 3 after Huge Mess. Because it's kind of a time waster to die after a Huge Mess. Might as well die before it, you know. Doesn't waste nearly as much time. Oh no, my nose itches. My nose itches, no. Whatever shall I do? I can't scratch my nose because I die in the game. And if I die in the game, I die in real life. Celeste, but I kill myself if I lose, if I die. I still gotta do the spike jump though, because I'm sick with it. I'm sick. Sick and twisted, kinda fucked up if you think about it. I need a doctor. Dude, now that I think about it, I think I haven't been to a doctor in 3 years. It's probably fine. Yeah, it's fine, surely. I do look fairly healthy though, so that's a thing. Sorry, I just kind of went through something there in my head. I'm back with you now. I really just kind of went quiet for like 40 seconds while just thinking. Just solid my brain thinking about stuff. Life has been very busy for me, which is why I haven't been streaming. But now it's slightly less busy. I'm actually very happy because tomorrow is a holiday. Yeah. I don't know what the holiday is. It's some random religious holiday, but thanks Bavaria for giving me a day off tomorrow. I'm not against it. I actually genuinely have no idea what it is in English. I have no idea what it is for. Like, I just know the name in German. But, all the stores are closed and I don't have to go anywhere. And I'll just be on my own. I'm fine. You shouldn't worry about me. I think what was interesting recently is, like in my house, the stairwell was being painted. So we had this painter in for like the whole week, and whenever I had to leave the house, I just walked past him while he was painting. He actually genuinely worked. Like, he was there from morning up until the evening. He really grinded through that shit. And it was just interesting because I'd see this guy like 4 times a day. And we'd always have like 5-sentence mini conversations. So now I feel like he knows quite a bit about me and I know quite a bit about him. It's a weird connection we share. Once he's done painting the stairwell, I'll never see him again. 3BG gained you less than half the deaths than beating it the first time? That's insane. No, 3BG was pain. I took so long to do the golden berry on 3BG. I actually vividly remember the moment when I finally got it. Because I was on holiday in Finland during that time. I was like next to a beautiful lake. There was a big sunset. And I was inside playing Celeste grinding 3BG. And eventually, I just did it. I just got it. Everything just fell into place. I got all the cycles figured out. I locked in and I did it. Gained you 400 deaths. I have no idea how many deaths it gained me. I also had this thing where I stubbornly said, I'm not gonna practice the level normally. I'm also not gonna watch a YouTube video on how to do it easily. So I'm doing the same strategy that I'm doing right now, where, I just kind of throw myself at it until it works. Three AG gained you that many deaths? It isn't easy, but, I'm kind of going to just randomly do it right now. I think the only reason I'm able to do this challenge is because I beat 3AG, I think. Like, during that time, you get so good at this level that it really is a difficulty spike. Like, Chapter 3 compared to Chapter 2 is far more difficult. You think you're really good at Goldens? Fluking Goldens, oh. It's an interesting skill to have. It's not that useful at the end of the day because how many Goldens are there? How many Goldens are there to fluke? Yeah, but I think it is one of my... This is one of the games I really do want to complete. I mean, I finally went ahead and did Stardew Valley Perfection this year. Which, you know, I started... Like, the first time I tried to get something close to Perfection Stardew Valley was before Perfection was added into the game. So my goal was just to collect every item. But before I could do that, a new big content update came out. So I started a new save file. It was like a massive content update. And they added a bunch of new items. So now I had to do more things. And then I got close to completing that. And then a new content update came out. And then I wasn't close to beating the game again. And then I got really, really close, like 4 in-game days away. Kept putting it off. New update came out, and I had to play like 50 more in-game days. But I finally did it, I think last year or this year. I actually don't recall. I think last or this year I did Stardew Perfection for the first time. Like on 7A Golden, you never died on 3KM. That's crazy. I think everything in relation to Chapter 3 is usually the hardest part. Like in Summit, for B and C sides, I think Chapter 3 is generally one of the hardest C sides, I think. The hardest one is obviously Chapter 7. I think everyone agrees on that. But 3C really did put up a fight when I first did it. During 7B and 7A, I think the Chapter 3 part is the most difficult one. Whenever gimmicks from Chapter 3... Actually, no. I think in Farewell, the worst gimmick that shows up is from Chapter 4, the moving blocks. I think all of the rooms that I really hate in Farewell have in common that they include the moving block. Those fuckers were used for evil purposes in Chapter 4. Chapter 9, sorry. In Chapter 4, they're fine. They're actually quite easy. But, you know, we're gonna see that soon, because on this attempt, I'm making it Chapter 4, so... That's huge mess done. Somewhere between 8A, 4B, and 5B Golden got way better at Goldens. Yeah. Let's not just die due to sheer stupidity this time. Perhaps. Something to consider, you know. Put that in my pipe and smoke it. Actually, don't smoke my pipe, please. Also, this is not a pipe. Ceci n'est pas une pipe. It's funny that I can pronounce it fairly properly, because I actually did learn French. I actually recently practiced my French again, because I was in Strasbourg visiting the European Parliament for the European Youth event. And unlike in Paris, if you don't speak flawless French, they don't switch to English. They actually let you practice your French. And I know you may be saying, why the fuck would I want to be able to speak French? You know. 3AG, you did demo strat? Yeah. Oh my god, okay. What even was that? What do I do here? No, not continue. Don't continue this. I don't want it to keep going. Please end it. Begin. Okay. Yeah. I think I might do like 3 more and then I'm gonna stop for the day. Because my voice isn't used to speaking this much. I haven't streamed in quite a lot of months. So I'm feeling my throat kind of starting to hurt. I also did just notice that my laundry is probably done. I just didn't hear the alarm. It's fine, Shirley. It's fine. Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm sorry, I gotta correct you because you made this mistake a few times. You don't spell died like that. When you're speaking of dying in the past tense, you don't use a Y, you type D-I-E-D. That's how you spell it. Because what you're typing is painting something, dying it, like die. Oh, you died on 6PG in your first attempt to the last checkpoint? That's crazy. I would ask, but here's the thing. I don't think I remember 6PG that much. You're bad at spelling, deal with it. No, I just want to, again, I'm not attacking you. I want to be a helpful person to correct you. It's a tough thing, because sometimes I sit with like friends or somewhere outside or like we're at a gathering and I see someone pull out their phone to start scrolling Instagram or something, like Reels. And I just tap them on the shoulder and I'm like, So they're aware of their behavior, I'm not telling them to put away the phone. But I am just trying to be a bit helpful. I'm not attacking them. I do fear that I'm being associated with a negative emotion, that being, depriving them of dopamine. But it is a really bad habit. Like, that is... I think that's like one of the worst habits people develop, is you're like with friends, out and about, sitting, just talking, and as soon as the conversation gets like slightly boring, you suddenly have to pull out your phone and scroll Reels. It's like the most antisocial activity you can do. Let's actually change the title to my stream. I'm not gonna stream for much longer, but that's fine. I'm not gonna stream for much longer, so it's alright. This title was more for the returning Mycromator viewers, but they're not here. They didn't show up, which is kind of what I expected. Oh my god. Dun dun. Resurrection's such a good track. I think most people would probably rank this as like the best track in the game. Like quality wise. I think people do still prefer like Chapter 5B because it's so funky and groovy. Now don't get me wrong, Chapter 5B is a banger. It's definitely the inspiration for Pig Step in Minecraft. At least in my opinion it is. It has similar character. But, I think a lot of people would say Resurrections is probably the best song in the game. I think it's got a really good name, and it is quite good. I do enjoy Quiet and Falling even more thematically. Probably isn't the better song, I'm not sure. Oh, the Farewell, Farewell song is also... Yeah, I think... Actually, I'm not sure, yeah. I think now that those are the three I've always been split between. I really enjoy Quiet and Falling, because I don't think any other song has ever encapsulated the feeling of being completely rock bottom depressed as much as that. But Farewell is really good. It's exceedingly good. Another fun fact about this game, this time it actually hasn't been changed for some reason, is if you go into Chapter 7B, it says that the song is Summit, B-Mix or something like that, by Corain. And you may be thinking, who the fuck is Corain, I guess like all of the B-sides were written by guests. Corain is the old artist's name for Lena Rain. And she actually changed her artist's name to Lena Rain before the game came out, but they just didn't change it. It's the only B-side remix actually made by Lena Rain. Isn't that weird that it says made by Corain? Most of Celeste OST are great, yeah. Yeah, it is. For BOST and the best? You mean is the best? I don't like it. I don't like 4B. Big hot take, you know? I know I'm definitely in the minority with this opinion, but I just don't think it's that good. I think it's one of the weaker B-sides. I think 3B is much better than it. But you know. I'm actually so upset that I died like that last run. Because that was really just nerves. Yeah, 4B OST is not good. I always feel insane when people tell me it's their favorite song in the game. I guess different strokes for different folks. By the way, fucking weird phrase. Different, like, I don't need to know how different folks be stroking their shit, you know? I don't much care for that information. You know, information does not change that situation. That was kind of bars there. It rhymed. Oh. Alright. This is the same old. This feels like the same old. It's kind of tough. It's difficult to make this exciting when I've been here so many times. I feel like every run so far I've made it to chapter 3 basically, and I've made it past Huge Mess. So this is just part of the unskippable cutscene, really. Where you live is so hot. Yeah. I mean, I don't know where you live. I live in Germany, so it's fine for the most part. Right now, it's okay. There was a really big heat wave. Like, that was so tough. During the European Youth event in Strasbourg, there was like 34 degrees Celsius outside. With no clouds. It was so insanely hot. I mean, luckily, I spent that day inside the European Parliament, which does have air conditioning. But, my god, poor people outside. It's 105, it's 40.5 degrees Celsius? Are you fucking kidding me? Dude, you live in, like, Arizona or some shit like that. You live in the desert out somewhere. 40 degrees is insane. I think I've experienced 40 degrees like twice in my life. I've actually experienced quite the range of temperatures. Yep, Arizona. Yeah, I've experienced quite the range of temperatures, you know. I've been outside during negative 27, and I've been outside during plus 41. So, I mean, that's I don't know how many people experience that range of temperatures in their lifetime. Dude, that minus 27 degrees shit was insane. Eastern Europe goes crazy in the winter sometimes. No continental climate and all. Alright, what's up, Mr. Oshiro? It's funny because the first time like one of my friends, when they played this game for the first time, I was watching and we were just kind of chatting, and I'd read all the text boxes. And for some reason I decided to give Mr. Oshiro a posh British accent. So now for my friend, in her head, whenever she plays this game, Mr. Oshiro in her head has a posh British accent, which is very funny. It's like that for the last 2 weeks or so. Oh my god. At least you do have air conditioning. We here in Germany don't have air conditioning, at least. Like if you go to a store or like an office, there is air conditioning, but at home, nuh-uh. Best you can get is a fan. It is absolutely imperative that when you wake up, you open all the windows to get like a big draft of air from the outside in. And then after like 10 a.m., you just close all the windows for the whole day. Because the house is so well insulated that it will keep like the slightly cooler air inside without letting the heat in. There's also the opposite problem where if you let too much hot air in, it can take a bit when it's cold outside to cool down your house because it's so well insulated. But you know, them houses are built for winters. But no, I could never live in a place that's really hot. I simply couldn't. Like, I think if I lived in a place that didn't have all 4 seasons, I'd move. Genuinely. Summer is my least favorite time of year. I really hate the heat. Like, I really, really hate the heat. I can't wait for fall to start. Well, I do say, I think this is one of the words I give to the British. I think autumn is such a good word for the season. I think autumn describes it so much better than fall. I do agree that fall is easier to say than autumn with its French origins, but autumn... What? I can't do it. I can't believe it, man. I can't fucking believe it. That was... So, it really is just that I get nervous. For some reason, I start getting nervous during the Oshiro fight. Alright, this is the last attempt. This is the last attempt as long as I make it out of chapter 1. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get pumped for this one. After 150 50-meter walk, you're exhausted. Yeah, that makes sense. It's just that I really hate sweating. I think sweating might just be one of my least favorite feelings in the world. Especially because there really isn't much you can do to prevent it, you know? I think my least favorite feeling in the world is probably when you've procrastinated something and there's like a sense of dread that sets in, and you feel your stomach like spin in a circle, and you just want to die in that moment. But for the most part, I've managed to start getting over that by just accepting situations. Like when something really bad happens now, I feel like I'm much more equipped to handle it than I used to be. But no amount of self-reflection can stop my body from sweating. That's the thing. That's a toughie, isn't it? I also have the great benefit of mosquitoes fucking loving me. I think there's this picture I posted. I think I posted it to Twitter as well. This year, I was stung by a mosquito in January. On like January 13th or something like that. That must have been the only mosquito in all of continental Europe. And he came to me through my window to sting me. How? Genuinely how? Are you talking about the game's topic? I mean, kind of. Not really. Not really. There is like some parts in the game where it's kind of like dread. A lot of this game is just anxiety and despair. you know? And panic attack, which that one's not relatable to me at all. You know, I've never had a panic attack. God forbid. I will say, I have to say, you know, I kind of cringe when I see the panic attack in this game. I don't know why. Realistic panic attack has become such a cliche. It feels like it's like really the only mental illness thing people focus on in games. And this game makes such a good representation of depression in Chapter 5. What's my Celeste PB? I don't know. I guess I could check on speedrun.com, but I think it's like 51 or something. Or 48 maybe? I think it was 48. I had like a brief stint where I tried speedrunning this game. But not in the way that I learned strats that speedrunners use or something. I kind of figured out my own strats. You know, that's kind of a running theme for me, I think. I think people will come to find out that I don't really like researching things. I kind of, when I play games, I like doing it my own way. No, I think the second big thing I dislike, and this is gonna be a really hot take, you know, this is gonna be a really hot take, I think people are overemphasizing the trans part of Celeste. Because yes, it is confirmed a trans allegory, but that was confirmed like 4 years after the game came out. It was a niche theory beforehand, and the game is absolutely, specifically vaguely written to be applicable to most mental illnesses. And I think the community has just latched onto the gender dysphoria thing so much, which, I mean, I guess it is objectively true that this game is about gender dysphoria. But in making it all about that, you make it less relatable to people who are just depressed for other reasons. That's one of my big gripes with the game. You know, sometimes when I browse Twitter, and I know it's a big mistake to browse Twitter. There's like someone who doesn't know that Celeste is a trans allegory, and they say, "Did you even play the game?" If you play the game, the only reference to Maddie being trans is at the end of Chapter 9, the flag in her cup holder. So I think people tend to overemphasize this aspect of the game's story. But you know, that was my hot take out of the way. No, everyone's left the stream. You know, 0 viewers left. 14:11:360. What is that? Is that the time you took to beat 6BG? Did you just do it? Damn, it's like 22:43. It's getting kind of late. It's 1:45. Tough one. I find it so funny that Americans call it military time. And in Europe, you just call it normal time. Oh, your PB is. Oh, your summit PB. I don't know my summit PB. I genuinely have no clue. Couldn't tell you. I never grinded summit on its own. My summit PB is probably how long it took me to beat the golden berry. Yeah. I think it's interesting if you stream Celeste Permadeath. There's this thing that where the further you get into the game, the more viewers you start to accumulate. And then when you suddenly die, you see like a sharp drop off in viewership, you know? It gets much, like when there's more people here, it gets much more noticeable. Like I remember I had like a stream where there's like 24 people watching me. I was like in chapter 5 or something. I die, instantly falls down to like 7. I mean, I kind of get it, but it's just really funny. I think doing this really just teaches you the art of not giving a fuck if you fail, you know? Alright. Though I think in real life you should be afraid of failure. Because not caring about failure easily turns into apathy. And apathy is not a good thing. If you don't care about succeeding, you won't do it. You won't succeed. It's the classic thing of people who are not good at school and go into a test expecting to get a bad grade, and they prepare for the test expecting to get a bad grade, are gonna get a bad grade. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you think that you're not gonna achieve something, you know, you're not gonna do it. Yeah, I guess you were right. That's my... Wow, okay, my throat is really getting bad. That's my life advice. Yeah, the expectations you set are sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy. I can't believe I survived that. By the way, I will remind you, this is the last run, so... You know, we still do have some time, because this is the run where I'm going to beat Chapter 7. But, you know, if there's something you still want to tell me, get it out now. I could lose at any moment. Ooh, it's so scary. I gotta build some sort of suspense, you know, you must understand. When you did 3 km first try in the golden, you were doubting yourself? That's also not how you spell doubt, but that's okay. You seem to not care much for spelling, which is okay. I think if you go into the expectation, like even here, if I go into the expectation that I'll lose to Oshiro now, I'm gonna lose to him. I'm gonna start overthinking, and that's gonna lead you nowhere. You know, I gotta just like go in full confidence that I'm gonna do it, and I am actually gonna do it this time. So watch me actually beat the Oshiro section, because you know, it is a bit cringe if I do a whole live stream and I don't get out of chapter 3. Like, that really is a step backwards, because I used to get out of chapter 3 pretty regularly. You must understand. All right. Alright. I've been thinking again. I should stop thinking during the live stream. You know, sometimes it's kind of funny. While I'm cycling to university for 40 minutes, I oftentimes listen to informative podcasts and things like that. But then while listening, I start thinking about something. And, like, my inner monologue voice in my head just becomes louder than the video I'm listening to. So I just miss, like, 10 minutes of a video that's just playing in the background. Because I was thinking, you know? I was thinking about things. I think it's important to think sometimes, but I think one of the worst things you can do is get stuck with your own thoughts when you don't want to. I truly do understand why people reach for the phone so often. it's not like I don't distract myself all day. It's why live streams are so good. Watching a VOD or listening to a live stream, you don't have to switch videos or anything. Alright, watch this 6 strat. Last time it didn't work, but this time I got it. Alright. Don't mess up this actually really easy section. I think like this room always just way scarier to me than it actually is. Like that room is extraordinarily easy if you're semi-competent, but if you get scared. Alright, got him again. Dude, I've booped him so many times. He must have a bad headache. Alright, he's gonna do the insta-dash now. Wait, why didn't he do the insta-dash? I think he's gonna do it now. Yeah, there it is. I don't know why that happens. I only figured that out, that he does the insta-dash right at the end, while grinding for permadeath. Like, not even when doing golden berries. GG's on passing chapter 3? Yeah, I finally did it. Now on to chapter 4. I feel like I rarely die here, but you never know. I haven't played in a while, to be fair. Nice little cloud. Nice little cloud. I almost just juked it. I almost just died in the second room. That would have been... That would have been, you know, worthy of a public execution, you know. Someone would have to take a gun, take me out back, and just shoot me next to a wall. And it would all be live broadcasted. You know, imagine Celeste, but if I die in real life. And it's like a guy who's really suicidal. And they really mean it. What is this concept? This is not a good concept, Mycromator. This seems like the most immoral content idea. Or at least one of the most immoral. Like, I don't think... Would it be illegal to, like... collect really depressed people and... say it's like, yeah, if he dies, he's gonna kill himself. But you're not encouraging him to do it. They're doing it out of their own volition. Would that be illegal? Not that I want to make this video. I actually don't. Surprised or not. This Kozeb is trying to die. What the fuck? Honestly, your spelling is making it hard for me to understand. What is a Kozeb? Kozeb? Anyways. Yeah, chapter 4 is fairly chill. Concept. Oh. You spell concept with a C in the middle. There's no S in there. Yeah, this concept is me trying to die. Yeah, I'm actually not suicidal. I'm kind of just making random jokes. Though it is kind of concerning that I'm making these jokes. Probably not something worth thinking about any further. Alright. Strong gust of wind. Man, I love this game. The background for this level is impeccable. That's the one thing I gotta say. They really nailed the background for this level. I get the exact vibe they were going for. What's my opinion on time? Time is ever fleeting, and I think if you really start thinking about it, it gets really scary, because if you're thinking about time, that at every moment, there's a moment that you'll never get back. And this might seem fine at first, because, you know, you'll have more moments like this. When it gets tough is when you realize the following. Every day, it feels as though nothing changes. But when you look back, I don't know, like a year or a few years, you start realizing that everything's changed. Like, I think I started this channel in like 2020 or 2021, and I've completely changed as a person since then. And I look back at the old broadcasts I used to do, at like series, that I feel like they feel kind of recent. But it's been years. And sometimes I think about the fact that I'll never get those moments back. But I think you can't, it's unadvisable to get crushed by time. That's my opinion on thyme. If you're asking about thyme, the herb, I really like cooking with thyme. It makes for great sauces. Like really, really good sauces. Like if you're making a pan sauce, if you want to make a gourmet chicken, get yourself a chicken breast, slather it in mustard, and then add some flour on top of it. Throw those bad puppies into the frying pan. Chop up some shallots, onions, and garlic. Deglaze with wine, with white wine. And then you add a bunch of thyme and fond. Or chicken stock, whatever you have on hand. Thyme makes for an incredible herbal base for a sauce. Am I fucked? Chad, is this... I can't fucking believe this. Last room? Seriously? I don't think I've ever died. In all my hundreds of hours in Celeste, have I ever died there? That is truly remarkable. Anyways, can't continue the run. Rules are rules. That was a terrible death. Yeah, it really was. Alright. Well, I did say that was the last attempt. Will I stream Celeste Permadeath again? I think it's unavoidable. I think it's fairly easy. It's easy stream content, you know? What can you say? I gotta be honest sometimes, but look how white I get if I point the lamp at me. I look so sweaty and white, even though I'm not sweaty right now. I look oily. Dude, I'm so white right now. It's kind of crazy. Anyways, hope you all did enjoy the stream. With all that said, welcome back. The name's Mycromator. Hope to see you around. Take care, and bye. See ya.